Hi, this is Deborah, and welcome to your moment of decompression. Today we are partially going to be focusing on a long exhalation. So meaning from a deep, comfortable inhale, moving through a slower exhalation with a little pause at the end before we resume with our inhale. And as you move through our breathing exercise today, I'd like for you to think about or tune into the sensation of becoming internally more quiet, noticing how the body begins to relax and let go of what is not needed at this moment. And also the softening around the face, the throat, and the neck, and how that has a trickle down sensation, encouraging the body to further release into this quiet moment. And our hands today will be in Dhyani Mudra, where the left hand's going to come in and nestle on top of the right. And as you're seated, whether it's on your mat, on the couch, or on the chair, your arms will get to rest down. So Dhyani Mudra is a gesture for meditation, contemplation, and it provides an easy place to be when you want to simply observe your breath. So go ahead and come into a comfortable seated position for yourself. And your legs may be crossed. You may want to have a narrow pillow underneath you or a rolled up blanket. Just see what feels comfortable for you to maintain a seated position for just a little while. And again, your left hand is going to come to nestle on top of the right. Allow your arms to settle down. And your hands are like a bowl, showing that we are inwardly free, pure, and empty to receive all that we need in our lives. And being that there is no empty space in the universe, this seemingly open void will be filled with new energy. So first, go ahead and close your eyes and sense your body sitting upon your mat, chair, couch. And how you have a relationship with the earth, the floor underneath you. It provides support and also gives you feedback on how am I sitting? What is my relationship to the earth, to the floor underneath me? Am I holding tension, or am I allowing myself to be with ease? And your eyes may be closed, or perhaps gently looking down towards your nose with a very soft gaze. And now begin to draw your attention to your inhale and your exhale, just as it is. Maybe you can hear the escape of your own breath on your exhale. Breathing in through the nose and either out through the nose or out through your mouth. Listen to what feels most beneficial for you today. And on your next round of breath, count the duration of your inhale and count the duration of your exhale. And remember the tiny pause at the very bottom of your exhale. And on your next round of breath, count your inhale and have your exhale be the same duration as your inhale. And try that a couple of times, matching the length of time for your inhale and exhale. And on your next round of breath, increase or lengthen your exhalation by 1 or 2 counts. So if you've been counting to 2 for your inhale, now count to either 3 or 4 for your exhale. And continue that for a couple of breaths. Allowing for there to be ease through your inhale to your exhale. So your shoulders can still drop down away from your ears, and your legs soften in the direction of the earth or settle more into your chair. And notice what that pause at the very bottom of your exhale feels like for you. Just listening. And on your next inhale, as you move through your exhalation, add 1 or 2 counts more to your exhalation, finishing with that little pause at the bottom of your exhale. And sometimes people like to count backwards down on their exhale. Let's see again, mentally, physically, which one feels better and more sustainable for you. And we'll continue for another couple of breaths and either remain where you are, or if you'd like to add another count or 2 to your exhalation, begin to add that on. Don't feel compelled that you need to, and stay right where you are. And after your next pause, you can release your hands and allow your breath to find its new pattern. And resting with the palms up toward the sky or down toward the earth. And then gently open your eyes. And once again, just observe how the body feels, how you're sitting in your mat, on your mat. And I'd like for you to imagine that there's a wall behind you. And if you're sitting on a chair or a couch, move slightly away from the back of your chair or couch and still imagine that you have that wall behind you. And we're going to concentrate on our shoulder blades. We're going to concentrate on our shoulder blades, the space between our shoulder blades. And imagine that you have an itch that just will never go away, right across your shoulder blades. And the wall behind you has a little bit of a back stretch to it, a very gentle one. And I'd like for you to shift from side to side. So sliding your shoulder blades along that imaginary wall, imaginary back scratch. Not too fast. You want to make sure that you really feel the glide and the relief and release of moving across that imaginary back scratch. And as you're shifting from side to side, you might notice how your ribs are responding to the shift. And the shift of weight across your sits bones. Trying to move as smoothly, easily as possible. So if there's something that feels tight or a little catch, don't go as far. Back off a little bit so that we can encourage the brain to settle down, calm down. So quiet the nervous system here. And that's it. And then come back through center, finding where that place is. And then one more shift over to the right. And now imagine that that wall behind you is more like a pillow. And so we're going to move back into that pillow. We have a small hollowing out. And then we come purely side back to the left. And then again, so we feel that our shoulder blades are being drawn to the space behind us. And we're making kind of a U or a happy face. A face of relief. And back around. And then one more time. Coming back to the right. And then coming into center. Take a deep, comfortable breath in. And your long exhale. Nice. And shift again to your right. And now we're going to keep expanding out to the right. Feeling that ribs are shifting, our weight has shifted more. And we're going to shift, or we're going to be shape shifters here. So palm open, we're going to come up to the left forward high diagonal. Notice how your focus changes. You see your hand, how your shoulder blade has shifted out to the side. And then bending through the elbow, release from the shoulder, coming back to a back low diagonal. And again, what has shifted in your body? Palm staying open, and carve around to the front and bring your hand into the left pocket. Again, what changes through the torso, shoulder blades, neck and head are you discovering? Coming back out without the lean, opening and spreading to the side, and then rising up to come over into a lateral lean. Again, shifting the shape of your body, softening on the bottom side, finding an opening, an expansion, and a lengthening through the right side. Allowing the shoulders to drop down away from your ears. And then pressing through the left hand, reaching up and over to the right, and coming back down. Return to your deep inhale to a slow exhale with a pause. And to your left. Just side to side again, returning back to the back scratch. Sensing the shift of weight. Really paying attention now, again, to the ribs in your head. A softness around your eyes and your mouth. Not forcing anything, and really sense that back scratch that is coming, like rubbing against your shoulder blades as you glide against it. So it's not empty space. Once again, we're filling that void with our imagery to access greater ease and efficiency in our movement. And coming over to the left, pause there. Now we're going to move into that back scratch as if it was a soft pillow or a Tempur-Pedic pillow, something that can take your shape. Pause directly side so that you don't push forward, pure side, and then into the back space. You might notice an opening across the front of the hip sockets as well. So our body has all these places where sequentially movement results. And once more, back around to the left. Everything's connected. And back through center. Your deep breath to a long exhale. And then that shift to the left and that reach out, expanding a little bit more, palm open, coming around to the right high diagonal. And feel how you open up across the left shoulder blade. Elbow draws back, hand reaches into the back low corner, shifting your weight, and you've got this spiral twist and an opening. Carving around to the front, scoop into the right back pocket. And then drawing the arm back. Feel the energy lengthening and expanding over to your left. And then rise with it, coming up and over to the right. Soften down from the shoulders. And the legs get to relax and grounded through your hand to the earth and sits bones. And that grounding really is a sense of connecting with the earth so that you can move with a better sense of being. And then reach, rise up, and draw your breath, draw your attention back to that slow to elongated step. And then if your legs are crossed, go ahead and take the leg that's underneath you and bring it out. So you're in what I may have mentioned before is a fourth position, seated position. And you can have your legs as open or as bent as you need. You'll feel probably the weight shifting mostly onto one sits bone. And spiral around just a little bit to look towards your left. Left hand, we're going to go up the spiral staircase. So the left hand reaches out. Keep going around. Shift your weight onto your right hand. Let your head and eyes gaze up to your left hand. Palm rotates out as you come back down. Descending the staircase. Once again, it's as if you're gently moving the air. There's movement through the front of your hips, pelvis, up through the spine, out through the crown of your head. And then rotate that palm out, coming back down the stairwell. And bring your hands a little bit more in front of you and notice the shape of your back leg. I'd like you to keep the shape of your back leg, but slide the leg away just a little bit and then bring it back and relax. On an exhale, gently slide the leg away a little bit and release. Bring it back. One more time. With an exhale, slide very small, and back. We're going to add this in. So as we come back and over, left hand scoops. You go up that spiral staircase and then stay there. Move your back leg even less than before. Rotate your left hand, palm out, and now everything returns at the same time. Notice how using your right hand into the earth might assist with that. Again, start with the upper body. Add the lower body in, sliding just less than before. Rotate the top palm and then upper and lower. Come back at the same time. Close to it. A little different finding that coordination. But one last time. Upper body up the stairwell. Lower half down the stairwell. And then with your breath, coming back almost at the same time. Nice. Go ahead and lengthen your legs for a moment. Rise up to the sky. When you arrive there, take a new deep breath in. And a slow exhale as you come down to your heart. And then go ahead and cross the opposite leg in front. Taking a moment here to settle. Notice how it might feel different in either hip socket. Any sensations across the upper back, around the shoulder blades. And then turn to the right. So your right hand now leads, coming up that spiral staircase. And then rotate through the arms so palm is out and you're turning back down. And for your next couple of times, how do you start the movement? Does your hand lead the way? Do you feel your hips leading through the way, the pelvis? And as you come back, is it your sits bones that bring you back first, or your hand that guides you first? There's no right or wrong. Again, you're just discovering what are my movement patterns and habits? And whatever they may be, can I play with being softer and more efficient through them, and perhaps maybe finding new pathways of ease. So go ahead and bring your hands back around to the front, and keeping that shape of the back leg, on an exhale, glide it a little bit away. And notice again, how does my body shift along the floor? How can I use the floor to really drag that leg a little bit so I'm not lifting it? How can I shift my weight to find the ease of allowing that leg to move into my backspace? And one more time. And can I be softer on my face, my chest? And let us go through that add-on sequence. The right arm brings you up that spiral staircase. And then the lower half shifts back a little bit. Palm out and seeing if we can return the leg. The arm, upper body obviously has further to go than our leg. And then again, spiraling up the staircase. Adding the lower half in. How do you shift for that? And how does your left hand now help assist in coming back? One more time. Upper body, head and eyes following, lower half. Rotate the top arm and coming back. Lengthen your legs long. Rise up, gathering the space around you. Deep new inhale at the top. And exhale slowly, coming down to your heart. And let us transition down to lying on our side. And you might want to lie in a way that allows you to see more clearly what I'm doing. And if you're staying seated in a chair or a couch, I encourage you to continue the exploration, though it will shift, like our shape shifting earlier. It will shift and have a different meaning if you're sitting on a chair or a couch. And if you are, come to the front 1/3 so that you have room to move your legs. Lying down on your side, resting your head on your arm for a pillow. And if you need a little extra blanket, be sure to hit pause, go grab that blanket or pillow, just enough so you feel you have support and your head is not dangling. Notice where your front hand is. I think I'll scoot back a little bit more. And notice where your top toes are. So I'll refer to top arm and top leg, or top hand and top toes. So imagine that there's a string attached to your fingers, to your toes, and to your elbow, to your top knee. And right now that string is quite relaxed. It's like a wet noodle at the moment. On an exhale, your front hand and your toes are going to reach to opposite places on your mat. My hand's going to go toward the front diagonal and my toes are going to go slightly back. And I'm not going to fully lengthen either one right now. And then slide everything back into that starting place. So notice that I'm not lifting anything. I'm really connecting with the earth. And on an exhale, to be able to glide along it. And maybe you go just a little bit further, but my point is not to go into a stretch. I'm moving through space and then coming back. Next time we go out, we're going to pause there. So settle down, really feel the bottom side connected to the earth, and notice if you're shifting forward or back, and how can you support yourself right on the side of your body. And on an exhale, begin that glide again. What does shift? Do you feel more length with the bottom, with the side that's connected to the floor? Exhale and pause, relax that foot back there, and then take your front hand and begin to trace a little arc. Let your head and eyes follow it as your hand, top hand, goes past your bottom hand. It's a little bit further, maybe you see the back edge of your mat, and then reverse that. And when your hand comes back to touching down to the earth, bring everything back in. Reassess, listen to how your body's returning to this neutral place. Your hips stacked, knees stacked, feet, shoulders. And on the exhale, feet fingers, so upper and lower, are now moving in opposition of each other. Pause through the lower half, continue with the upper half. Let your head and eyes follow. So you feel that you start to roll maybe onto the shoulder blade closest to the earth. And then coming back, take your time. There's no rush here. Your hand may be in the air or on the floor. It's all good. Exhale as you bring everything back in. We're going to add on one more time to this and be part of a transition. Again, just notice how you're laying into the earth. What is your physical connection to the earth? Remember, it's a relationship that's going to allow us to move eventually over time with more ease and efficiency. Together with your breath, sliding upper and lower, begin to move. And then pause with the lower half. Continue with the arm. Again, it might be hands on the floor or off. And this time you're going to keep tracing that circle until your fingertips manage to draw you effortlessly onto your back. Bend your elbows when you need to, coming onto your back with your feet standing, and let your arms come all the way down to rest by your sides, palms up to the sky. Lengthen your legs for a moment, and taking your deep breath to your full, slow exhale. And then bending your knees, stand your feet. The little roll or lean of the legs to the right, you begin to roll, toward the side that you were laying on before. How about that? Continue to roll back toward the side that you were laying on. Keep going so that your hands take over. Press into the earth to rise up. And now your head will come over to the other side of your mat. Try to be as lazy as possible. Coming back down to your side. Other arm, now your head pillow, or bringing your blanket or pillow with you. Take a moment to soften the side that's connected with the earth this time. Can your head really rest down onto your arm or your blankets? And can you let go so that there's no tension through the thighs, inner thighs, pelvis, ankles, wrist? And on your exhale, begin your exploration of letting the toes and the fingers lead to opposite diagonal reaches without fully extending. There's a softness in the elbow. The knee probably won't unbend really ever for this exercise, but there's that sense of easy breath through the body. It gives the sense of lengthening and opening. Take your pause to see where you are, maybe give yourself a little rock. And with your breath again, adding the upper body, and where do your eyes and head want to look? They want to look toward the hand or toward, or maybe your foot's going. And back in and pause, checking that you're really letting go, not holding any muscular effort. And then again, and we'll add on this time as we branch out a little bit here. The upper body will continue and follow it just till it maybe passes your resting arm. And how does your back, your head, and your eyes all become involved? And then release. And pause. And again, starting with the upper and lower moving together, which is different than what we had done earlier seated. But now we're adding the upper body a little bit more. And do you feel any sensations around maybe by your navel or across your pelvis? And then bringing yourself back. And on our last one, we'll continue to add on once again. Soften through that into your mat. And on an exhale, Simultaneously, upper and lower are moving. The lower half momentarily pauses as our upper half is leading, and our head and eyes are following, so that as our hand continues, we begin to melt onto our back and allow those elbows to bend as you fully come onto your back, and then draw your hands down to your sides. Lengthen through the legs. Return your attention again to your deep inhale through to your elongated exhale with that little pause at the end. And once again, continuing with your breath. Each time allowing the arms to really settle into the earth. They might change how they're laying once you let go of keeping them in any particular place. See if you can feel your body moving along the earth with your inhale, and how your body physically responds to your exhale. One more round of breath. And then bend your knees and stand your feet. And begin to roll toward the side you were just lying on, coming back to the long front edge of your mat. Continue to use your hands as you draw yourself up into any comfortable seated position. Allow your hands to return either palm up toward the sky or down toward the earth. Perhaps close your eyes or have a soft, gentle gaze. And draw your hands into your heart. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste. So take this moment to slowly bring yourself to a standing position that will continue into a slow walk around your space. So shift your weight one by one onto one foot, onto the other. And as you uncurl your way up, your arms can dangle, sequentially rising up through your spine, one vertebrae at a time, until you come to standing. Notice what it feels like for you now. You have gravity to work with, but how does your body feel differently than when you first started? And take a walk through your space. And I will take this moment as you continue to say thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you gained a new experience and a new insight to your comforts and ease of being. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you. Bye.